If you want to save money, you have to look at your habits and your routines. Why? Mostly because many of us are on autopilot, and it's during these routines and these habits where we end up just unconsciously spending and swiping that credit card, leading to purchases that do not have impact on our well being. Sure, you can look at your bank statements and your credit card statements, but most of this stuff is after the fact. You've already spent your money, and there's a high likelihood you'll be doing the same thing next month if you don't change the habits and your routines that got you there in the first place. In this video, we are going to break down a typical routine. Many of you will be able to relate to some of these things, but I encourage you to apply the concepts we will cover in this video to your own routine to see where you can optimize expenses and save money for the long term. Hi, and thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Catherine Agupjan, and here at Sisters for Fi, we help future moms and current moms like myself get financially fit so we have more money to live and to give. Let's first look at the morning routine. What do you do in the morning to get ready for yourself, for your kids, for your spouse? What does that morning routine look like? Are you all having breakfast? Are you deciding that you are going to grab breakfast on the way to work? And a lot of this stuff costs money, right? So if you're putting breakfast on the table, that costs money. But if it doesn't get eaten, that's wasted money. So you need to analyze and look at your family's habits and routines and see if you need to continue doing some of those things. Coffee is a big part of many people's routines. Is it part of yours? So, a long time ago, a personal finance author coined the term the latte factor. And in it, he stated that for many of us, we spend a lot of small dollars consistently over time, which adds up to a larger amount in the end. And what we need to do is start being mindful of all of these small things that we spend money on. It's not just about the coffee, it's about all of these other seemingly small amounts that add up in the end. A common solution if you are constantly spending money on coffee or other breakfast is, of course, to make it at home, to invest in good quality ingredients at home and do so for yourself. Now, of course, the trade off is that you do have to do it, so it's a time on your part. But I think if you weigh it with having to go through a drive through window, waiting in line for that, and getting that coffee, you might be able to save money and time there. For me, I am not a coffee drinker. I don't drink coffee first thing in the morning. But what I used to do when I worked in New York City was get a bagel every morning. And if you're from New York City, have been, you know that some of these things can add up. And sometimes you don't just get a bagel, you get one with butter or cream cheese or lox, or you add on a yogurt parfait to it, and it all adds up. Now, if I had continued to do that every day for 7 years, a significant amount of my income would have just been to pay for my breakfast. So I had to find an alternative. I had to figure out if I could have breakfast at home, or if I wasn't feeling up to eating it, make it at home and bring it to work, or use the work breakfast bar for my needs instead. So we need to start thinking outside the box to fulfill what we're looking for. So let's continue with the morning routine. The second thing might be getting dressed. If you are the average woman in America, you are likely only wearing 20% of the clothes in your closet. So the other 80% are either just wasting space, maybe on your floor, maybe on your dresser, and not being used. If you struggle to find outfits in the morning or spend a lot of time figuring out what to wear, it might be time to assess your closet. Again, if you look at all that stuff in your closet, that was once money. And if it's not being used, that means you are wasting your money away. A few things I would recommend to do is check out Project 333. This is an experiment with your wardrobe where you select 33 items and wear it for 3 months. I've done it before, and I think it's a good experiment to see what you wear, what you don't wear, what you want to wear, and also what you want to add to your closet. There's also others where you can create a capsule wardrobe for yourself. And of course, as you go through this exercise, you're definitely going to see that there are some things that you know you look good in, some things that you can probably get rid of instead of keeping that in your closet. Remember that if you have to maintain something, it is costing you mental energy as well as time to do so. Other things you can do when it comes to clothing, and again, this is for yourself, maybe your partner will do the same, or you can do this for your children, is that once you wear something, you can, when you bring it back to your closet, you can either turn it inside out or turn the hanger around. That will give you a sense if you're actually using most of the pieces in your closet. If many of them are not inside out, or if the hanger still remains normal, then it's time to really optimize your closet for your needs. I think it's also very important for us to review our closet once again, especially as we go back to this new normal post COVID. Many of us may have lost some weight, perhaps gained some weight, and we need to reassess if what we have in our closet is good for us to wear today, or if we need to invest in good quality pieces and get rid of the ones that we no longer need or can fit. Because some of this stuff, even if it's in your closet, it's taking up space, it's clutter. And we want to make sure that we kind of get rid of that clutter and make space for new things. I will leave some links in the description so that you can read some blog posts about how to create a more curated closet for yourself. Even myself, post baby, it's been a few years now, but I still need to reassess what I want to wear, what I look good in, and reinvest in those pieces. I will also share with you two women that I've been following here on YouTube that I've been learning a lot from when it comes to dressing better and dressing with quality in mind. The first one is Melissa Morel. She's a personal stylist based in the UK, but she does her videos in a very informational way, and she really shows you what's good to wear, what's not. This is good if you have a postpartum body, or your body is just changing as you grow older. So I highly recommend checking her out. I'll leave the link in the description. And the second one is Alyssa Beltempo. And I love her style. She has a very chic, casual style, and she's all about quality over quantity. So she's all about shopping your closet and reimagining what's in your closet. And that's one way that you can save money and still look stylish in the end. The next area that we'll focus on is all about commuting to work. Whether you're going to school or going to work, how else can you optimize your commute? Now, I know a lot of things will change when it comes to going back to the office, or maybe you're going to a hybrid schedule, but one thing's for sure is to really revisit what you're using to commute. Are you able to take advantage of maybe carpooling with another coworker to save money on gas, save money on car maintenance, and so forth? Are you able to now take public transportation and use your pre-tax dollars to do so? A lot of this is up to you, but it also again requires you to really look at your habits and see if there's a way you can optimize some of your commuting costs and expenses. Now, depending on where you work, what industry you're in, it might be possible for you to ask if you can continue to work from home for a few days, especially during the summer. And it doesn't hurt to ask, and it doesn't hurt to ask if it's just for a temporary period, if it's for 3 months or so. And I know many companies provide that and support that. Also, during the summer months, I know that many companies do some summer hours. Perhaps this is the time to ask if you could get summer hours so you're not doing that extra commuting back and forth. I will share with you my experience many years ago when I worked for a pharmaceutical company. I was there for 3 years, and I was commuting to work 30 miles in and 30 miles out. Thankfully, gas prices weren't so high then, but what I decided to do was I decided to carpool with a coworker who lived the next town over. So every other day, we would switch off to drive each other to work. And that was a huge time saver for us. It was a huge gas saver for us. And it also allowed us to get some snooze time in the car on the way there. Over the years at that company, our company didn't have enough space for a lot of the employees. So we also moved to a hybrid schedule where for 2 to 3 days, depending on your seniority, you would be working from home instead and come to the office 2 to 3 times a week. And again, coupled on top of carpooling, and that was a huge time saver. It was a huge gas saver, and it absolutely reduced the wear and tear of my car, and that was helpful. And again, a lot of this is really up to what industry you're in, but it doesn't hurt to ask. And if it's only temporary for the summer, try it out, see how you do, see how your boss feels, and it might be something that you can make permanent for the next few months after. Because I was saving money on gas, I automatically transferred money from my checking account to a savings account. These were small amounts, $5, $10. If filling up my gas cost me $10 less, I would automatically transfer that money to my savings account. And that was one way for me to continue the habit of saving, even though small, so that I was not spending the money on something else. Now, that's easy to do if you have an online savings account. I would recommend Ally or Capital One because they support sub accounts and allow you to do this automated transfer of small amounts to your savings. If this video has been helpful so far, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what kind of habits you're working on, and share some of the wins so that other people might learn from you as well. The next thing on our routine might be getting lunch, whether that's at work or maybe you're home and you want to grab something to eat. What are you reaching for? Are you reaching for leftovers? Are you doing takeout? Are you doing something else or not eating lunch at all? And again, this is all about going to our habits and our routines. What are we doing and how can we optimize it? If you are the kind of person that is struggling to make lunch to bring to work, maybe what you can do is instill a different habit, practice a different habit where you make an extra serving for dinner and then you pack it right away and you use that for lunch the next day. Totally understand that it's nice to be able to go outside for lunch. It's nice to be able to have a chit chat with friends, coworkers outside of the work environment. But just be mindful and intentional of all of these because all of this stuff again adds up. Here in New Jersey and the New York metro area, lunch can cost $15. $12 for a sandwich plus tax, maybe chips, a soda, that's $15, $16. And if you do that continuously, it adds up. And if you also look at the real hourly wage, you need to start looking of how much of your work time are you using to pay for just food that you can get at home at a less expensive price. I will share that when I was a kid, I did not want to bring leftover food from home. I did not want to eat rice at school. When all of my other friends were eating Lunchables, they were having PB&J, but fast forward to when I became an adult, and that kind of food was more delicious, it was more nutritious, and more flavorful than any of the other food I could get out there. Just something to keep in mind that over the years, your tastes change and you need to kind of incorporate some of these new habits back into a new routine. As we're wrapping up our day, now we're heading home or we are at home already relaxing. We need to start looking at what we're reaching for. What are some of the habits that we have at home that might not be as good for our wallet? Are we heading to the mall or are we going online shopping to fulfill a need to de-stress? Is that actually helping you de-stress or is it stressing you out, but just a delayed stress for when you get those bills? It's time for us to also assess if we're using all of the streaming platforms we've subscribed for. The summer is a perfect time to analyze if you're using many of them. Some of them may not have as much of the shows that you want, so it might be a good time to break, contact your streaming service and let them know that you want to pause for the summer, save some money then. This is especially good if you're not at home most of the time, if you're out and about. And again, another way to really be intentional with where our money is going and save money there. For those using online shopping as a form of therapy, I would highly encourage you to unsubscribe from marketing emails, unfollow some of the influencers that get you to spend money, and really reflect on your spending habits from that point of view. If you want to dive deeper to see how your current habits are affecting your finances, consider picking up the Money Journal. It is half book, half journal, and it provides you a guide to help you with your money with your mindset and contains checklists and trackers for your financial life. The link is in the description if you want to pick it up and read the reviews on Etsy to learn more. As you take on new habits, as you break from your old habits, you might alienate people around you, especially people that don't understand yet your motivation, and especially if these people were part of that habit. For example, if you always went out for coffee with a certain coworker or a certain friend and you no longer and you're saying now that, hey, I want to stay in instead and make my own coffee, that might signal to them that you no longer want a relationship, when instead it's just a different habit shift. So it might be necessary for you to explain what you're doing, why you're doing it, but continue to make that habit change for yourself. Just keep in mind that habits take time to form. You need to condition your mind and your body to do something new. It doesn't come overnight, and you have to repeatedly do it so it just becomes a part of you and a part of your routine. Many of us also have to unlearn years of conditioning of bad habits, and maybe they're not necessarily bad habits, that habits that we no longer want to take with us to the future because they are absolutely affecting our finances. So keep that in mind. It takes time, it takes effort, but certainly worth it in the end. I will leave you with a quote from James Clear and his very powerful book, Atomic Habits. If you are interested in learning more about changing some of your habits for your finances, for your health, for your overall family well being, check his book out. Here's one of the quotes from his book: your actions reveal how badly you want something. If you keep saying something is a priority, but you never act on it, then you don't really want it. It's time to have an honest conversation with yourself. Your actions reveal your true motivations. And to add on to that quote, if we really want to manage our money better, we need to start taking action, and we also need to create new habits that support that. And again, some of these habits will be small, but over time they will compound and add up. Thanks again for tuning in. If you want similar content like this to help you manage your money better for yourself, your family, and your community, consider subscribing to Sisters for Fi. Also recommend checking this video out to help you if you want to take on a money challenge for 2022. This can be a great way for you to put some money in your bank and get ready for whatever comes next.